Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. I've been gone for a hot minute. It's the first video of 2021 because there's no other real reason that I became super addicted to filming TikToks. But we're back on that YouTube moment for 2021. I thought I would just sit down, do a super chill get ready with me, show you guys some products that I've been loving recently, doing a super cute look and just chilling and catching up. So if you're not already subscribed to my channel, let's make sure today's the day that we hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you miss no future uploads from me, and yeah, let's just get into beating our faces. The hand was lovely. So the idea behind this video is that I'm going to just sit and do my makeup and you guys can play along if you want. I did a look on Instagram a few weeks ago and people were saying they want a tutorial on it. I don't really like to do the same makeup twice apart from like a warm brown smoke, which we do every day, but this is the look here, so it was really cool. I really liked it, but I'm going to do the same kind of shape but in a more kind of neutral colour family, but obviously the technique will remain the same. So I'm going to just sit, chill, do my complexion, and then we'll pop in and do a super cool eye look too. So we'll start off by priming our skin. I'm going to be using the Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Glow Primer. This has become my favourite primer. It is so good, so we're going to just take a little bit of that. I don't know if you guys have tried this, but if you haven't, like, I really recommend it. It is super hydrating for your skin and it gives your skin the nicest glow. So any foundation you put on top of it is going to just look so glowy, so healthy, and it's got that kind of tacky base to it, so it really acts like a grip to your makeup. That you guys know I love this. It was one of my favourite products of 2020. Again, you guys know I'm not one to mix it up with my complexion products, so we're going to go in with the Stay Naked foundation from Urban Decay. This is my favourite foundation. I use it every day. I really recommend it, so if you guys like it, I will link it below. I do have an affiliate link for Urban Decay, so I am Urban Decay employee. I work for the brand, but this is a product that I use day in, day out. So if you want to check it out, I'll link it below. So obviously we are finding ourselves in the same position as you were pretty much a year ago. So how is everyone coping? How's everyone getting on? I know that I'm not going anywhere. Like literally it is currently 6 o'clock at night because this room has been so warm all day, so I had to wait and hope it was cooled down a little bit. So I'm literally doing my makeup to sit and watch RuPaul's Drag Race UK at 7:30 on iPlayer and then going to take it off. That's pretty much my night. But sometimes I just think it is so important to just do something that will take your mind off things. So if it is just sitting and doing your makeup to sit in the house, or just making sure that when you're getting up in the morning you are putting on clothes instead of like your pyjamas, like you're put on a cute ass outfit like that TikTok, like just something like that. Or if you're doing your makeup to go to Aldi or do your makeup to just sit in the house, there's nothing wrong with it. Do what makes you kind of give yourself that time just to sit and chill and do what you need to do. I think it's quite nice. I've been really enjoying doing like makeup looks and stuff, so as much as I haven't been posting as much on YouTube, but I'm going to get back on that. I have been doing quite a lot of Instagram posts and really different makeup looks for me, so if you're not following me on Instagram, check that out. But I've been really enjoying doing super cool like colourful makeup looks and stuff, like been just kind of getting into sitting and playing with makeup again, and I do really like that. But today I just wanted to do something a little bit more classic Allan, and I really wanted to use my Vieve palette again because you guys had asked for a tutorial on that, and obviously in the last video it cut out the whole eyeshadow portion because my camera wasn't recording. Well, it's not that my camera wasn't recording, I just didn't push the record button. And by the way, I'm using the Revolution Conceal and Define Infinite Concealer because it is just the best concealer. I really like this stuff. So yeah, I wanted to do another using my Vieve palette because obviously I filmed that video, you guys all really liked it, and my camera wasn't recording any of the eyeshadow portion. Not that it was my camera's fault, I just think I hadn't pushed record, so I thought I'll use that palette today. That's the kind of idea. So what I like about this concealer is I just think it gives you the nicest coverage. Like I really like the original Conceal and Define by Revolution also, but the Infinite is just that little bit extra really good concealer. So if you haven't tried that, I really think you should. It's really nice. And I don't know what I was thinking wearing this because it's actually roasting, so I'm going to just take it off. Oh, it's quite thick. And then you guys know I love to bake, but recently I like to just go in as soon as my concealer has been blended out and set it with a pressed powder. I like to use the MAC Studio Fix NC15 powder and just do a really light dusting under my eyes. I love obviously to bake, but I find it doing this, it just really sets your concealer in place before it gets a chance to move around. So it's going to look a lot more smooth and a lot more flawless, so when you go add baking on top, it's got a really flawless base to bake on top of. Top tip. And then I've actually been loving the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark Deepest. This is Mark's because I don't have it, but I just picked up his one day and put it on and I was like, why am I not using this bronzer more? It's so nice. Like, obviously it's super high and everyone goes nuts for it, but I was always like trying other bronzers and that sort of thing, but I really, really like this one. It's just so nice. The finish of it is lovely and it's really buildable and it's not super matte, so you don't get that really kind of dull cakey matte look. It just works into the skin really nicely and it's really nice layered on top of Stay Naked because they've both got that kind of skin like finish. So now that we're looking sufficiently bronzed, I like to keep the bronzer just through the outer perimeter of my face, but because I'm going to do a really bronzy look, I'm going to do the bronzer just kind of through the temples too, so that when I do my shadow it will all connect and look really nice. At least that's the look we're going for. So I'm baking with my Revolution, I Heart Revolution Peach Baking Powder. Like, there's not a lot of new products, guys. I mean, some of them are new. I mean, I'm not using a lot of new products today. Some of them are new, like new things that I've been using every day. But most of this is just kind of my favourite products. Things that I love. So I have got a bundle of new things to use on videos. I got some stuff from Shein. I'm going to use in a video, and I've got a couple of other new bits, like some really viral products, so I'm going to do like a couple of like trying new products video. I actually got as well this palette from Shein that is like a dupe for a Natasha Denona palette, so that'll be getting a video. Watch this space, subscribe so you don't miss it, and ring the bell, you know the drill. I just really wanted to do like a really chill video today and just sit and do like a makeup look that I really wanted to do and that sort of vibe, so it's not super like reviewy or testing out this product or first impressions. Like, you know, I love doing videos like that, but today I just wanted to sit and play with makeup and hope you guys would join me because it's been a while. You guys know I've got my brow routine that I follow religiously: Urban Decay Subversion Lash Primer to fluff them up. And I say this all the time, but this really is just my favourite brow product that there is. So again, if you haven't tried this out, like, you should, because it's honestly so good and people always compliment me on my brows and they ask what I'm using, and then when I say, oh, it's like an eyelash primer, they're all just like mind blown emoji because they're like, what, like, why would you not use the brow gel? But this is special. So I just kind of let it sit for a wee second and then I'm going to go on and use just the side of the tube packaging, mascara packaging, and we're just going to roll our brows up, and all that does is it just kind of presses them against the skin and gives them that really nice kind of laminated finish. You don't want to start this at the front of the brow, start at the arch and tail and then move forward to the front. I just feel like doing that gives you a more natural finish. I actually had to clean this the other day. Mark thought that I had like brown like masking tape at the bottom of it because I hadn't cleaned it so long and it had like foundation residue, but I'll keep it nice and clean, of course. So again, I'm going to use another favourite product of mine, Urban Decay Brow Blade, which is just the best brow product there is, in my opinion, and I'm going to just do some little hair strokes. I don't know if I've discussed this on my channel, but I have switched over to a slightly like darker shade, Cool Cookie, which is just a little bit less warm, so I quite like it as a change. I've always used Brunette Betty since it came out, but Cool Cookie was like a new shade that came out and I was like, oh, that looks like a bit of me. So that's what we're doing. And you can really just take your time here and build up the hair strokes until you get them like super three-dimensional. Sometimes I like to use this alongside like another colour so I can get that really nice 3D brow, but I think today I want the brows to be a little bit more fluffy looking, so we'll just stick with this. So what I did was I just went ahead and carved my brows out with some concealer. This is a really good tip if you're not wanting to do the full underline brow. You can just carve out the shape with a slightly lighter concealer. It will highlight your brow bone and give it a little bit of shape without being as harsh as a full drawn on brow. And now we're going to go into the eyes, which is the bit I'm so excited for. Like I said, we're going to be using the Vieve Essential Eye Palette today because you guys were robbed of my tutorial on this because we had technical difficulties, so we're going to use this today, but I might mix up and mix and match some other bits too. So I'm going to start off with priming my eyes, and for that I'm going to use the P. Louise base in the shade Rimmer 03, and I'm just going to take a little bit. So this one is a little bit darker. I go between this or the 2. If I'm doing like a brighter colourful look, I'll use the shade 2, which is also that little bit brighter, but because we're going for a more kind of brown smoky-ish look, the 3 is perfect. And I'm just going to go ahead and just make sure that's really worked into the eyelid. You just want to make sure that that base is really evenly blended out so there's no bumps and gaps. And then I'm going to start off actually by doing my lower lash line, which you know I like to do to really build up the shape so that I get that super lifted finish. So you guys know the colour scheme of this palette is gorgeous. It's classic neutrals, like what's not to love. So I'm going to stick to this kind of theme today. So I've done this before a few times on my channel, you guys will know. I'm going to start off by taking my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On pencil in the shade Whiskey, and I'm going to just use that to start smoking out my lower lash line. This will really help me control the shape that we get on top. And these pencils are really creamy, so you want to do one eye at a time, so you get time to really work with the pencil and smudge it out. As you guys can tell, I use this one lots. And then before you add any shadow, we're going to take a little pencil blender brush and we're going to just use that to start diffusing that brown before it has any time to set. What I love about these pencils is that once they set, they don't budge, but you've got that kind of playtime at the start if you want to kind of smudge and blend them out. And almost kind of give yourself a little guideline just up here when you're smudging it onto the top lash line. It will really help you get control of the shape. Okay, sorry, we had to take a fan break there because it was far too hot. So now you've smudged that pencil out, you're going to take a little bit of the shade Delicious and we're going to just use that to slowly diffuse the brown pencil. And you're just wanting to kind of go over the edges of where you've applied Whiskey and just start to tickle that out so that you're going to get a nice diffused line. And then I'm going to take the shade on a fluffier brush. I'm going to take the shade Buff, which is this really nice kind of mustard tone here, and we're going to use that again to start to diffuse that even more. And again, I like to just really get the under eye super smoky first, because then it just means that everything I do afterwards on top is going to be made so much easier because the under eye is done, so it's going to really control the shape that I'm going for. So I want this look to be quite dramatic, so we're going to add some black through the waterline. We're going to do the exact same steps as we did with the brown pencil, but we're going to do the same with the black. I always do a brown pencil through my waterline first, even if I plan on doing a black at the end, just because it gives you a kind of transition of colour, so it's not like a black blending out into eyeshadow that can look a little bit harsh. Having that brown creamy base down first, blended out with brown shadow, means that when you go and add black and blend it out with black shadow, it's got something to blend into, so it's a lot more seamless, smoky, grungy, bronzy, gorge. So I'm going to take the Urban Decay Perversion pencil and we're going to just repeat what we did with the Whiskey pencil. But not take it as far down. Try and focus this pencil mostly in the waterline. And then we're going to go in with the shade Goodnight, which is the black in this palette. Really good black, by the way. And we're going to just start to smudge that out. Okay, so I like to always do a practice eye first before I film, just so that I can see what happens and if I like the look, and I quite like how it's turned out. It's really cool. It's kind of like cut crease, smoky liner, not super, because it's kind of like a half cut crease, and then the smoky winged out outer corner shape fox eye vibe like combined. So we're going to start off, we're going to dip into this shade Delicious, and we're going to use Delicious on a little MAC 221S brush, and I'm going to literally just sketch out the shape that we're going to build. So you're just drawn kind of slightly higher than your natural eye socket from the inner corner to about halfway, and just giving yourself that kind of guideline that you're going to use to blend everything out with. I promise you this will look really crazy during the process, but like we always say in this channel, trust the process because it always looks nice in the end. And then on a bigger, fluffier brush, we're going to dip into the shade Chow, which is the nice yellow. And we're literally just using the very tip of it, tickling over the edges and taking that yellow shade and making sure we're buffing that right through the front, right into that nose contour. Just basically really using that to warm things up. We're going to take the black shade now, Goodnight, and we're going to take a little bit of this. A little goes a long way because it is a really pigmented black. And just use that right in the edge. So this is the most kind of technical bit. So you need 3 things for this part. Your P. Acid Rain blank canvas paint and 2 brushes. A flat brush and a little angled liner brush, and that will explain to you why. And what we're going to do is kind of carve out the crease the way you would do a normal half cut crease, but you're only taking it like this, you're keeping it very concentrated to the inner eye. So I take my flat brush first and use that just to get a lot of opacity on the lid, because if I can get a rough shape doing this, then it's going to make things a lot easier for me. Don't worry about getting it super perfect. I mean, you can, but I find that when I spend too long trying to get the crease perfect, it kind of creates a lot of dragging and I don't get the perfect finish in terms of opacity, which comes back to bite me later, because with the P. Louise paints you want to get a really nice even layer and you don't want it to be too thick where it'll crack, but you also don't want it to be too thin where it's not opaque. So you just kind of blend that out. So just kind of blend that over the lid and to about the edge of your pupil, and like instantly that already looks really cool and it's got a really nice shape to it because the paints are really opaque. But because my eyes are more hooded, I need to kind of carve above my natural fold just so that we get the look not like transparent and smudging as the day goes on. So we'll take a little angled brush, little angled gel liner brush with some more of that paint. And you want to just really take your time at this point just to finesse the shape. So I like to work in little sections along that cut crease just until I get things perfect. And by perfect I mean a really sharp, crisp draw of the line and a really nice shape. And just drag what's left into shape. And this is why I like to work in little small sections at a time, because it means that there's not a lot of chance for it to dry in and make it harder to kind of manipulate that paint on the lid. And now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the shade So Shy, which is the kind of matte bone colour, and just really set that whole lid in place. I like to take what's on my brush on the kind of edge of the brush through the crease, just to really get that sharp, precise crease set in place. But I do have a little trick that's going to really help you get a super like defined and sharp crease in a second too, don't worry. But then what you want to do, just to really make sure that crease is super defined, is take a little bit more of the black Goodnight shade on a little angled like liner brush, and just using like the tip, go back in and sketch out that crease. And just add a little bit more dimension. And if you get a little bit of black flying into where you don't want it to go, it's fine, just take that little brush and buff it out. And you'll see that looks super sharp and crisp. While I've got my blank canvas out, so while on my little brush that I used to carve my brows out, I'm going to do something really funny that I quite like to do just now, which is a good old fashioned brow slit. I love doing this. I think it's going to be my thing in 2021. Because this stuff's so opaque, it goes right over your brows and really conceals them. So I just think that looks really cool, but a little bit different. Okay, right, so what we're going to do is just finish off the look, and it's really, this is the easiest part. This is the smoky browns, which you know I live for. So a brush like this is a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH33, but any kind of flat but also blendy brushes will do. And we're going to start off by taking the shade Delicious and just really load your brush up with this, but tap off the excess always, because we don't want any fallout. Then all you're going to do is line your brush up with the edge of your eye, almost like you're drawing a wing, and stamp it down. and just get it nice and opaque and sketch out that kind of shape. Obviously we're going to blow it out now, but you want that colour kind of brought down just to really blow things out. And then we're going to take the shade Buff and we're going to just use that to start to diffuse the edges of that. So right through anywhere that brown stops, you're going over the edges just to really diffuse them. And when you get to the outer corner, you're wanting to really start to create a more kind of lifted, elongated shape. We're going to cheat those hooded eyes and diffuse the brown. You see it just starts to look a little bit messy, but it will come together. And then I like to take a fluffy brush and just mix Buff and Chow together, and we're going to just use that to really start to blend everything out. And you'll see how doing that just really starts to get that really nice smoky blend coming together, which is what we're looking for. But look how easy that is, and it's just giving you that really nice seamless blend. And go in with the shade Goodnight, which is the black, and same technique as before. Stamp it down, but not as high, and create a really nice winged shadow. Again, this looks crazy right now, but when I tell you, it won't when we're done. And we're going to dip in with a MAC 221S to more of that lovely shade Delicious, and we're going to just start to diffuse that black. The angle that you place that black shadow at is really crucial as well. If you do it too out the way, your eyes won't look lifted. If you do it too high, like I've done it a bit too high today, then it's going to look that kind of cat eye finish, but I think it'll work in the context of the look. And just really tickle the edges away and make sure it's blended. So Delicious is going to be like your blender for the black, and then obviously Buff will blend out Delicious, Chow will blend out Buff, and that's how the story goes. And then just with a fluffy brush and some more of the shade Buff, just really start to work that into your contour. This is your best chance to get a lot of control over the shape. Do you see? Like, I think that looks really nice. I know this is not for everyone, but we're feeling our bad bee fantasy today, so that's what we're doing. Okay, the eye is looking super cute. The last thing you want to do is get a little bit more black and just really start to smoke along your lower lash line, because I don't want to do a liner or anything. But a little bit of smoky black, which you can then go in and diffuse, will be a really nice way to kind of give the eyes that a little bit more drama. Okay guys, lashes are on. I am fully aware this video is probably going to be the longest I've ever done, but hey, so the eye look is super cute. I need to just finish off the rest of the makeup now. So we're going to just make sure we've got no fallout from that shadow, and then we're going to just make sure to clean away any excess bake. I am kind of conscious that my face is going to be heavily powdered looking, so I'm going to take a little bit of good old Fix Plus and mist our face with Fix Plus. And what this is going to do, uh-oh, too much. I'm soaking. And what I'm going to do is really help melt all the kind of excess loose powder into the skin. And then it means when I go to apply like highlight and stuff on top, everything's going to look a lot more natural and seamless. So you can see how just doing that quick spritz just helps everything look really nice and diffused. I'm going to just finish off with a little bit of the Vieve Nova Glow highlight in the shade Holy Chic, which you guys know has become quickly one of my favourite highlighters. I'm not taking it too far down, I'm just really concentrating it on the tips or the cheekbones, because I find that sometimes I take my highlighter too low on the cheek and it loses that nice lifted finish. Don't forget to Tin Man the nose, which is of course part of my favourite part of my makeup routine. And then I'm going to take some more of my Beat Up Revolution bronzer, and we're going to just use that. This is bronzer reloaded in Long Weekend in case you're new here. And we're going to just use that up the cheeks just to add a little bit of shine. You know, my complexion routine, it really doesn't change often. I'm very much a creature of habit when it comes to how I do my base. A little bit of MAC Sunbask blusher, which again is my favourite blush on the market. It's just the perfect kind of bronzy blush. take a little bit of my Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Setting Powder, and I'm going to just take that over the edges of my base just to make sure that everything looks really, really flawless. Optional step, if you're not a powder user you don't always need to, but I like that extra kind of powder security. And then to lock my base makeup in place, of course, we're going to go with some Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. So I'm going to just finish it off with a really quick, really easy nude lip. Very typical Allan. We'll start off with our Morphe pencil in the shade Bite Me, which you guys know I love. You guys can hear a crying dog in the background. It's because we've ordered food and it's just come, and when Harvey hears that buzzer, he literally can be the most chill dog. When he hears that buzzer go, he goes nuts. I'm going to take a really nice nude lipstick, Doll Beauty C'est La Vie. This is just a really nice peachy nude matte. We'll just finish that off with Morphe lip gloss in the shade Chill. And we're pretty much done. So there we have it guys, the look is done. I hope you like it. Give it a big thumbs up if you do, it really helps me out. I really enjoyed just sitting doing this super chill makeup and chill with you guys today. Let me know in the comments if you like that too. And what looks you want to see me do next. I've been doing lots of colourful looks on Instagram, so I think I might do a colourful look here next, and I've got a couple of viral products that I want to try as well, so watch this space for that. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, then please make sure today is the day that you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you don't miss any future uploads from me, and get me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'll put them on the screen, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching guys. Bye.